few minutes today and talk about selecting your next marching band show. So let's start today and let's think about some important considerations as you're deciding on your next marching band show. Now, this is a funny slide, obviously. Great Mark Twain saying, but I have clients all the time that will say, hey, I'd like to do a jazz show. And I'll start to ask them about how many jazz bands they have, if they even have a jazz band. The answer is no. You can see where that's going to be a problem for that group to perform a jazz show very well, because you'll be teaching a new style, you'll be adding an extra eighth note per beat, or at least feel-wise. So it would be very frustrating to you and your students if you're choosing things that aren't as part of your wheelhouse, okay? So I always talk about what's in your wheelhouse. Who are you musically? What are you strong at? Your band will be a reflection of you. And then what's in your students' wheelhouse? What do they like? What do they play well? That's really the most important question, okay? The other thing is that, you need to decide what you're going to try to highlight, Your most talented students you're going to try to feature. If you had a great bagpiper, I know that sounds crazy, but you go to a marching contest, what sticks out? Unique solos and things like that. Great soloists. So, if you have a great player or performer, maybe even a non-traditional instrument, even if you have great visual students, a student who's a gymnast or a juggler or a twirler. When Carmel did their spider show, that twirler, I said the word marching band, twirler, and cool in the same sentence. That doesn't happen. So if you have a really unique talent, try to feature it as part of your show. You're going to try to minimize your youngest and least experienced sections, okay? And try to hide them as much as possible. One of the cool things that we do is we customize in every show package so that we can maybe reinforce or hide those sections that maybe you don't want to bring to the forefront. You want the students to have a good experience and develop, but we want to make sure that you're not highlighting something that will never be a strong performing part of your ensemble. You need to think about the long term, okay? And start with simpler shows and add elements each year to your programming. Your students being successful in performing all the elements that are within a show is the most important thing, okay? I find that most groups are performing shows that have skills in them that are above the students' abilities. And so what happens is the performance level is never really as good as it should be for maximum effect. Really consider your audience as well. Particularly if you're in a developing situation, what your Friday night audience thinks is important, okay? The parents, your student body, peer pressure is an important thing. And so if you're doing a really esoteric show that the student body doesn't understand, that could be problematic. As you become more successful, certainly you can do more artistic things, but really consider your audiences. And then also who your judges are. So when you're selecting music, is there something for everybody? Is there something for the judges that they know that they can connect to, your student body, your parents? I think that's achievable. And so always be thinking about who you're performing to, because they're the people who help fund your program. And just really choose wisely. And I know it's a silly reference, but so many times we choose because we really like a show, or somebody on your staff really likes a show. And really what we should be thinking about is what's best for our students and the evolution of our program. Thanks for listening today. You can reach out anytime if you're looking for shows and need suggestions. We have a lot of shows on our website, and reach out. Feel free to call or email, whatever you like. We love to help you in your process.